Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Get that money, man. Get that money. Head to the house. Ain't no easy money. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock
said,
on wood, knock on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
yeah, put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're
last.
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. We out. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the I Need a Sports podcast, man. Wednesday night. You already know what that means, man. We about to give y'all all these picks for week 14, starting tomorrow, Thursday night football. Got the Los Angeles Rams versus the Las Vegas Raiders, who I gotta give it to them. They're alive. Somehow, some way, the Raiders are alive. I was ready to eliminate them. I think last week's episode I was saying that, but hey, they're alive. Who knows what if they make it, but they got a fighting chance right now. But unfortunately, man, we got to talk about it. Gonna go over week 13, and week 13 was not a good week for us whatsoever. We got every pick wrong, and then the one pick we could have got right ended up being avoided bet because the Commanders chose to tie with the Giants instead of winning the game. That's the this isn't soccer, man. We can't be doing this tie stuff in the NFL.
Bro.
Like, come on, man. I feel like if it goes to overtime and the whole 10 minutes goes by and nobody scored, you might as well do a college football style, like 2-point convert. You know how they say now in the college football the third overtime is just 2-point conversions back and forth. We might as well do something like that, because man, these ties got to go. But yeah, man, worst week of the NFL by far. I mean, we have been. I think we were like 7-8 positive weeks in a row, so we were doing really good. And, you know, that's just life. Sometimes it's just not going to be your week. But this week, we're bouncing back, man. So, you know, if you still trust us, believe in us, ride with us, keep riding with us, man. We almost to the end of the season. Like I said, week 14. But let's get into this week 13 NFL recap, man. There's a few teams we don't even necessarily have to touch because they're basically done. Their season is over with. Chicago, they were officially eliminated this weekend. I mean, they played tough. They were up again, and then they lost it again. But I mean, I'm not one of those. I know you aren't either, but I'm not one of those people that's finna knock Justin Fields for anything he's doing. Nobody thought this team should have been winning in the first place, and they don't have a roster to win. So the fact they were able to even get 3 wins is a testament to Justin Fields, who now, by the way, has the most 50-plus yard touchdown runs by a QB in NFL history. And he did that all this season. So call him a running back. But I mean, if he's going to set records doing it, hey, more power to him. The Los Angeles Rams, they're not eliminated, but they're eliminated. They just signed Baker off waivers. That'll be an interesting last 5 or 4 weeks of the season to see if he plays for real. Carolina's done. New Orleans, who we're going to talk about this game, but they're done. But I'll save that for later in the recap. AFC side, your Houston boys was eliminated officially. Denver, 3-9. I mean, they're basically eliminated. I think if we beat them this weekend, that will officially eliminate them, but they're done. Jacksonville dropped a complete dud to the Lions, who are surprisingly on fire and kind of alive, too, for long shot playoff hopes. Indy, they're done. Matt Ryan should be done after this year, and they need to be headed towards a blow up. I think Jeff Saturday coaching career might be done after this season too. I don't think he's cut out for it, and I think he knows that. And then Pittsburgh and Cleveland still got a fighting chance, both at 5-7. Cleveland has Deshaun back. Played your Houston team this weekend. Deshaun looked god awful, but I mean, that was expected. You missed 700 days of football. You're not about to come back and just go off. But in Texas fashion, at one point, what was it like, 24 to whatever y'all had, and all those points were from special teams or defense. Just finding a way to lose, man. But yeah, man, let's get into the week's biggest games for week 13. Start off with that Thursday night game, Bills Patriots, man. The Bills, they got the job done. I didn't think they were. I mean, I thought they could win, but I didn't think they would win this handily. I think it's clear now. I will say, Josh Allen has Bill Belichick and the Patriots figured out. They can't stop him whatsoever, and the Patriots offense is still complete garbage. Unfortunately for the Buffalo Bills, just came out today that what they thought was just a meniscus tear for Von Miller turned out to also be an ACL tear, and he had ACL surgery, and he is now out for the season. So that's a tough blow for them and their Super Bowl hopes. And I was reading it, and I'm really wondering, because I guess this week they were just doing what they called an exploratory surgery in his knee just to see. And I'm pretty sure they went in there, put him under, started the surgery, and then they found out his ACL was torn and just repaired it there. So I'm pretty sure he woke up and found out his ACL was torn and his season was over. I can't imagine waking up from surgery and learning that news when it would have been a long shot still, but he was gonna try to come back potentially at the end of the season or for the playoffs, and to wake up thinking like, okay, it's time to rehab right away, get back so I can play, and wake up and be like, no, yeah, bro, your ACL is torn and you're done for the season. I might have been trying to fight my doctor if that was me, man, but definitely tough. And when my Chiefs lost, the Bills are now back in first place of the AFC, and they control their own destiny moving forward. And this week they got a chance to get their first divisional win versus the Jets and get some payback. This time it won't be versus Zach Wilson, it'll be versus Mike White. So after this, week and some of the other events going on, and with the Von Miller news, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the chance the Bills keep the number 1 seed? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your chance? What are you giving them to make the Super Bowl?
On a scale of 1 to 10, of them keeping their first first seed or whatever, I give it about like a 7 or an 8. And even that might still be high, for you or like others, but I just feel like, if they still have a top 2 quarterback in the league right now. He's playing phenomenal right now. And whenever you have a top 2, quarterback, I mean, it is what it is. It's still gonna be hard beating them. They still gonna be sticking around, still gonna be there. But I mean, if you look at their schedule, they got the Jets this week with Mike White. I think they'll be able to at home. I think they'll be able to win that game. Then they got the Dolphins at home. That's gonna be a tough game, probably be a shootout. Then you got the Bears, that should be a win. They got the Bengals. That's gonna be another tough game. And then they got to play the Patriots. So I mean, it's looking like they'll potentially 2 losses, maybe 1. Who knows how those games play out. But yeah, like I said, whenever you have a top 2 quarterback in the league, they still always gonna be there. So I say about 7 or 8. Now Super Bowl, I don't know. That's probably like a 6 or 7. Cause like I said, you still got Josh Allen, still got that the offense. They still humming at a good level right now. Yeah, they lost Von Miller, but the secondary playing well right now, in my opinion. But to win a Super Bowl, I feel like you need that one guy that can like just make a difference, like on a football field. If that's like a like a DB, or if that's like a pass rusher. I mean, we seen it last year with Aaron Donald. He's pretty much quiet, pretty much kind of throughout the game, and then he made that. I mean, he made the play of the game at the end there with that that pressure to Joe Burrow. But yeah, I just feel like on the defensive side, you just need that game changer, that one guy that can be a game changer. They lost that game changer in Von Miller because Von Miller, he was a Super Bowl MVP, Hall of Famer for sure. So yeah, they lost him. So I mean that's gonna be a big void, not having him for that Super Bowl run. So I say a 6 or a 7 for a Super Bowl. I mean it's still alive. AFC is tough. They still got Josh Allen, but I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah. I give them a 5 for both. And my thought process is, because I'm gonna assume that my Chiefs win out. We got the Broncos twice, Seahawks at home, Texans. Texans 2 weeks. I'll be at that game, so I'll definitely be doing a little vlog for the channel for that. And then we end the season in Las Vegas, and I'll be at Las Vegas for that. So if we win out and the Bills drop one game, it will boost us back into first. But I think this week they handle the Jets. Bills. The Dolphins, I still think, even though they got manhandled by the 49ers this weekend, but that's the best defense in the NFL. I still think the Dolphins are a really good team, and they will present some problems for the Bills. But that game, it's in Buffalo, and it should be pretty cold. I think Buffalo can win that one. Bears win that one, no problem. The Bengals is where it comes into play, and it's like, I don't know. We haven't seen these two teams play since the Bengals had their run last year. But as right now, the top 3 teams in the AFC would be Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, in whichever order you want to put that in. You technically put my Chiefs in third because we lost to both of them this season. But with Von Miller gone, the one thing you can do to stop Joe Burrow is get to him, which for whatever reason, our pass rush just can't seem to do. Don't matter what blitz Spags draw up. Don't matter if we rush 4, blitz everybody. We can't touch Joe Burrow, and it pisses me off. But if they don't have Von Miller, who, like you said, can wreck a whole game plan, and basically that's what they signed him to stop Mahomes. But I mean, he's a perfect situation would be playing Joe Burrow and stopping him too, because he can get to Joe Burrow and you can just rush 4 and drop everybody else back into coverage to cover T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. And the game's in Cincy. And Cincy's going to be thinking like, hey, if Cincy wins out and say my Chiefs drop another game, then Cincy would be first place in the AFC because they beat Miami. So they're probably still going to be fighting for what they believe could be a first place spot. So I think Cincy beats them. So that's where I'm saying it's a 5. But like I said, we haven't seen the matchup. It'll be interesting. Tre'Davious White just came back, last week or a couple weeks ago. So he's still getting back into the groove of things. Maybe by that time, he'll be a little bit better coming off that ACL injury.
Yeah.
But that Bengals team, that offense is tough to stop because they got 2 wide receiver 1s and a bona fide wide receiver 2 in Boyd. And Samaje Perine, he been running the ball crazy. Joe Mixon should be coming back anytime now from his concussion. He gonna run the ball crazy. They're gonna be tough to stop. And especially if you can't get to Joe Burrow, they're just gonna shred anybody. You're just gonna have to get a turnover. That's what it is. But I think they lose that one, and then because they'll lose, which I'm really praying and hoping that they do lose. Because the way it's looking right now is Lamar's out. I'm thinking the Ravens probably going to drop off a little bit, or they'll at least lose 1 or 2 more games since he gets first place in the AFC North. If whoever gets second is going to draw the Bengals in the second round of the playoffs, assuming the Bengals and whoever second wins their playoff game in the wild card. So if the Bills lose, they'll be second. Bengals they'll probably be flip-flop, but they'll be 2 and 3. And then they'll get my Chiefs to bye, and we'll get whoever else wins, which probably be like a Miami or something, depending on the matchups. And then the Bills and Bengals will have to play again in the divisional round. And that will work in favor of my Chiefs because it's going to knock out one of our tough-ass opponents. That way we just have to see him in the AFC title game. So I'm hoping the Bills drop one. But like I said, my Chiefs dropped the ball this weekend, and now the Bills have controlled their own destiny. So if they win out, first place sold up. And shoot, no telling what type of weather is going to be down there in Buffalo in January for playoff time. So props to them, man. Props to them. On the flip side, Patriots are now 6-6. They were already in the playoff hunt, but now they've kind of dug themselves in an even deeper hole there. And there's honestly people calling. There were some fans saying on Twitter that it might be time to, let Belichick go. And I've kind of been hinting at that and saying that a couple episodes throughout the season. I mean, the stats don't lie. I get it. He's still the greatest coach ever in the NFL. I'll give him that. But without Brady, he's not that good, and he doesn't seem to have any progress going for him that shows that he will be that good without Brady, because the offense is a complete joke. Unless he can hire a bona fide offensive coordinator, I don't see that turnaround. And even with that, they still need to do better in the draft with offensive prospects, which they haven't hit on any offensive weapons lately in the draft. So I think the Patriots are probably going to miss out in a loaded AFC East, because now you have the Jets, who are 7-5, who sit above them at third place, and then Buffalo and Miami 3-4 lost respectively. It's just going to be very tough for the Patriots to squeak their way back in. They would essentially have to win out from here, and I don't see them doing that because they'll have to play Buffalo again. They got to play the Bengals. They got to play the Dolphins. That's probably 3 losses right there. They got the Cardinals this week on Monday night, and then they got the Raiders the week after that. I'm giving them the edge over the Raiders just because it's Belichick versus his former coordinator, Josh McDaniels. But the Raiders could win that game too, the way they're playing right now. So, yeah, I think the New England season is more than likely done, but we'll have to see how it folds out. The next game I wanted to touch on was Jets Vikings, man. We were discussing last week, you can't. It's gonna be hard to go back to Zach Wilson with the way White has been playing, and he didn't even have necessarily a good game this weekend, but he didn't have a bad game. He had a couple passes dropped that could have been scores or set them up to score. He had one interception, but he threw for over 500 yards and almost brought the Jets back if Berrios catches a touchdown in the red zone, and they would have knocked off the Vikings. But once again, the Vikings escaping with a close win that has their fans on the edge of their seats because they could very well easily lose it. And I just think this game was, even though these are probably 2 playoff teams in the AFC and NFC this year, I think these teams are still both pretenders, and I don't see them making any noise come playoff time. Would it be, do you think it's a more positive thing that Minnesota's winning all these close games, or it's negative?
I think it's a positive in a way because they are very battle tested, and so once that playoffs come, I mean they've been in these close games before, so they know how to win close games. So I mean when it comes down to it, I mean they're gonna win that close game, but it's the thing with them; they are very easy to blow out.
That's what I was gonna say, because they having these close games with teams that aren't necessarily good.
Good, yeah.
And then they play the top dogs like the Eagles and Cowboys and get completely waxed. Yeah. And I'm assuming if they had to play that 49ers defense, they would probably get waxed by them, no matter if it's Brock Purdy or whoever playing quarterback back there. And Tampa Bay, they probably be able to keep it somewhat close, but in a playoff game, of course, like we've always said, trusting Tom Brady over Kirk Cousins. So while, yes, it's good that they're winning because it obviously got them basically deadlocked into, they basically are deadlocked in the second place since Philly and Dallas are both in the same division, which we'll talk about later. So it's a good thing they've been able to pull these close games out. But come playoff time, I think this is going to bite them in the ass because, like you said, they usually get blown out by the good teams. And some of the things they're doing to even make these close games, you can't do that versus a good team. And I just feel like that's going to be the ultimate cause of their downfall. But on the flip side, New York, they could have really used that win, considering they'll probably lose this weekend versus Buffalo. But the good thing for them is both the Patriots and the Chargers lost this weekend, who are the next 2 teams in the playoff hunt. And that put both of them at 6-6, and the Jets sit at 7-5. So even if New England wins this week and the Jets lose, they'll be back in front of them because they have the tiebreaker. But I'm pretty sure if the Chargers win and the Jets lose, I think the Jets still technically hold the 7th spot. I don't know for sure, but as of right now, they're holding on by a fingernail. Do you think they can still? Can you think Mike White can take them to the playoffs somehow, some way? Because that defense is solid. It's just a matter of if Mike White can do enough.
Oof, I don't know. I don't know. I think they can just because that defense, like I said, is so solid, it's so good. Sauce Gardner, he's amazing. They need to stop, not like completely stop, but just turn down the throwing just a little bit. Cause this man throwing like 57 times a game.
Yeah, that was a
bro.
little crazy.
Like just I know he's a gunslinger. He gonna throw that rock, but just a little bit. Get the run of game going a little bit, ease it in a little, and and then hit guys with the deep balls and stuff like that. But I think they can sneak in there. I think they can with Mike White. I think they can.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe because the way the game went at one point, it was 20-3 Minnesota, so that's probably what got them out of the run. So they had to start slinging it. But yeah. I would like to see them utilize the run a little bit more. I don't think Mike White throwing 50 plus times will get them to the playoffs if that's what he got to do every game. But yeah, man, like I said, this race is really gonna come down to the end. There's still a lot of divisional games to be played. That's really gonna be the deciding factor. Like I said, that AFC East, every team can make the playoffs right now, but they all still have to play each other at least once, and some of them twice. So it's kind of up in the air how that settles out. And really, I mean, if the Bills somehow, some way slipped up and lost a couple more games in the division, they would really be screwed because their divisional record is the worst right now. So they have to, this weekend is must win for them. Not only to just keep first in the AFC, but to get up on their division. That way, if they do drop another game, they don't have to worry about not even getting first in the division because Miami's still right there. Miami gets them again, they sweep them, and then they have the tiebreaker over them. So there's still a way technically that Miami could be first place in the AFC. So it's still a lot that can shake out. Next up, the game that tied first, man. Commanders Giants. Both of these teams, it's like,
it's frustrating.
Frustrating because it's like, are y'all really playoff teams? I don't think so. But will y'all both probably make the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah.
Which means you're gonna be an easy out for whoever it is that you end up drawing. And really, Washington needed this win to catapult over the Giants. Giants needed this win to stay above them, and they tie. So they just stay where they're at. And then Washington's on a bye this week. The Giants have the Eagles, which will be interesting because this is their first matchup of the season. And then next week, after week 15, Washington plays the Giants in Washington. So a lot's about to unfold in the NFC East these next 2 weeks. And I mean, I would think Philly handles their business. They've been playing really well, especially we'll talk about them next playing their game versus the Titans. But I mean, this kind of make it or break it for Daniel Jones right now, this last stretch of the season, because his rookie deal is up. They haven't extended his 5th-year option yet. So this is kind of like if he's able to maybe pull something out of his sleeve and make the playoffs, maybe get a miraculous playoff win, maybe the Giants have cause to extend him or maybe make a new 2-3 year deal. And on the flip side, the Commanders, I don't know if they will ever give Heineke the job straight up. I mean, if Heineke gets them to the playoffs again after doing it in 2020, he has a real argument to say, like, hey, I should kind of be the starting QB. Maybe y'all can build something around me, and they'll get their defense back healthier. I think Chase Young is coming back the next game. They got the bye this week, so like I said last week, they gave him this extra week of rest. Then you got the bye week. If he plays, that could be the deciding factor in them beating the Giants this next time around. So I don't know, man. Do you think Daniel Jones does enough to get a new contract? Because I know you a believer in Danny Dimes, but this season has been up and down. At one point, the Giants were 7-1. Now they're 7-4-1. So they've lost 3 weeks in a row and then a tie. But like we were saying, kind of some of their wins, it was like by the slimmest of margins, and props to them for winning. But it's like, can we really believe them? So, are you a believer in the Giants and Danny Dimes?
I don't. I would say if they do bring him back, it would only be for like a like a short term deal type of contract. But if I was them, honestly, I'd just go after Jimmy G, man. I'll just go after Jimmy G. I mean, I feel like he not necessarily fits the offense because he's not gonna obviously run the ball like Daniel Jones is doing, but I mean he gonna hand the ball off to Saquon. He gonna let Saquon work. They can game manage off of Jimmy G. They need to bring in some more receivers though, so maybe they'll be in the running for Jimmy G this offseason. So who knows? But as far as Daniel Jones, like you said, it's gonna be a tough stretch for him. He gotta pretty much prove it, to Dayball and the GM or whatever, and pretty much tell him, hey, like I'm the guy, I'm the franchise quarterback. Keep me, give me a good deal. So I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. And what I forgot to mention is, what's also possible they could do is franchise tag him. But the franchise tag for Daniel Jones next year will be like, I think they said $35 million, and they definitely don't want to do that. So if they do bring him back, it would definitely be on a shorter, much cheaper deal, and it kind of be like another prove it deal. And they might throw in like a 3rd-year option where they could possibly get rid of him. But at the same time, this coaching staff has no ties to Daniel Jones. He was a draft pick of Joe Judge in the previous staff, so they could very well get rid of him and not really receive any backlash because, like, hey, we didn't commit to this guy. We gave him a chance. He didn't really do much, even though, like you said, they need some receivers over there. But it's gonna be tough for him. On the flip side, I mean, I don't know if Taylor Heineke's a QB1 for real, but I mean, he gives Washington a fighting chance every time he plays, it seems like. And he's gonna have some plays in there where it's like, okay, calm down, Taylor. But at the same time, he makes some other plays where it's like, how did you do that, Taylor? So kind of like a double-edged sword for them. And they've kind of been a quarterback purgatory hell where they haven't found the right guy since really RG3's rookie year.
Yeah.
Alex Smith was serviceable for them, but other than that, they've been quarterback after quarterback not working. And they got Carson Wentz. I mean, Carson Wentz, I think, is technically now healthy. It's just Heineke. They're not going to take Heineke out because he's been playing well. So definitely don't really know where they go quarterback-wise. But, I mean, say he makes to the playoffs. If they are able to make it in as a 7th seed, they're going to play Minnesota. So they would have a chance, I think, to beat Minnesota. But I don't know if they would get it done. But that's as far as I would see them going, is if they could pull off a wild card win. After that, you're going to be playing Philly because Philly will be number 1, and then they will be the 7th seed, so they would draw Philly. And, I mean, they did beat Philly. I'll give them that. And they got to play Philly again at home, so who knows? But I think Philly would win that in a playoff game. But, hey, that's neither here or there. Next up, Titans-Eagles, man. And this was an A.J. Brown revenge game. Yeah. I had told some of my other buddies in the group chat, they've been doing this prize picks for the past couple weeks. They all just got on the prize picks, so they send in their little parlays every day. And I was just like, hey, I don't know what y'all throwing in there, but throw in all of A.J. Brown's props because he's playing Tennessee, and he wanted to be in Tennessee, wanted a long-term deal, and they refused to give it to him. He's going to go off versus them just because he got to show them, like, hey, y'all messed up doing this. And sure enough, 2 touchdowns, 120 yards, mossing dudes. One of his celebrations was he said he had to give him a whooping. I still love you, but I got to whoop you. Took the towel out and whooped the goalpost as if it was the Titans. And funny enough, after the game, or I think the day after, Titans fired their GM, who made the trade to trade him during the draft. And there's a video of Mike Vrabel sitting in the draft room when they made it happen. He kind of walked off and was like, he couldn't show too much emotion because he knows camera, but you could tell on his face he's kind of like, what the hell did we just do? Why did we do that?
Yeah.
Got rid of Tannehill's only true wide receiver. Tried to replace him with a rookie, Burks, who's not bad, but he's not A.J. Brown. And Tannehill, as much as people want to give him credit, Tannehill is an average game manager. That's what he's good at. He's not about to be a true winner where he wins you games with his quarterback play and can carry you consistently. So I don't know what else Tennessee expected. And now they're kind of reverting back to what I thought of them to be earlier in the year, where they might be decent, but this isn't necessarily a team. They will give you a fight, but I don't think they win a playoff game this year unless they somehow draw like a Baltimore, maybe. But as far as the AFC playoff picture goes, Baltimore, they wouldn't play the Jets. But Baltimore, if they match with them, that's about the only team I can see them beating from the current AFC playoff teams. And even then, Baltimore can still beat them, I think, if they have a healthy Lamar. That's a big if right now. But yeah, man, on the flip side, the Eagles, they looked amazing. And I gotta give Jalen Hurts his props. For a lot of people been saying, I mean, he's playing good, but he ain't passed the ball yet. And I was one of those people. He damn near threw for 400 yards this weekend, and he looked great. He's doing everything, and he played himself back into the MVP race for real. Now the odds, I think, have him at like plus 130 or 50, I think. So I threw $10 on Patrick Mahomes and went 75 at the beginning of the year. I just went through and threw 30 on Jalen Hurts. That way I can kind of win either way. The only way I get screwed is if somehow, some way, NFL media tries to pick Joe Burrow because, that's their darling. But, I mean, as good as Joe Burrow is playing right now, he doesn't deserve NFL MVP because the beginning of his season has to count, and he wasn't good, and the Bengals weren't good to start the season. And he also has more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. So there's no way he should have a realistic chance to win MVP as long as Hurts and Mahomes keep playing the way they are. But coming into the season, I just know it's going to be a lot of me guys. Well, I think we really need to consider Joe Burrow, especially if they beat the Bills. So just prepare yourselves for that if that does happen. But if it's not Mahomes, Jalen Hurts definitely deserves MVP without a doubt. Man is balling out, leading the number one team in the NFL. And they look great. And it's just setting up more and more for this Christmas Eve matchup with the Cowboys in Dallas, where Jalen hasn't won yet. But with the Titans, what was your main thought coming out of this game? Were you more concerned for the Titans look bad, or were you more, I guess, surprised to see, oh, this Eagles team, like, this was supposed to be another test, but they're for real. They can do literally everything on all three phases of the game. So
I would say it was more surprising to me to see how this Titans team didn't show up at all. Like, Derrick Henry didn't show up. I thought he would, have a pretty good or decent game than what he showed, this past week. But yeah, he couldn't get nothing going. I know they got the Eagles. They got their what's his name, that nose tackle back, Jordan Davis. They got Jordan Davis back, so I guess he was a problem. He was causing havoc or whatever. But yeah,
Sue as well. And
yeah,
Dominican Sue,
yeah.
they signed, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, it was a little bit surprising with the Titans how bad they looked. I thought that defense would have played a little bit more better, but I feel like this was kind of more of a AJ Brown type revenge game, like you saying. But hey, man, Jalen Hurts, he definitely played his way back into the MVP race. I knew he can do it. This year, I knew he can pass the ball. This past year, but he just had to show it and prove it. And then, this is the game, like you say, damn near threw for 400 yards. This is the game he finally showed it that like, hey, I'm not just a runner. I can actually throw the ball, and I'm actually pretty accurate while throwing the ball. So yeah, man. I'm like I said, I'm pretty surprised about the Titans. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive game, but yeah, it is what it is.
Ryan Tannehill was their leading rusher this week with 34 yards.
Yeah, should
Did
never
not
happen.
think the Eagles could shut down Derrick Henry like that either, and they did it. So more props to them. Still gonna be interesting to see them play Dallas, but I mean, realistically speaking, in which we can talk about it now. So I was telling Cam earlier, basically the NFC playoff picture is kind of setting up where Dallas Cowboys are kind of, unless Philly drops another game somewhere on their schedule, which I don't see them doing, and then the Cowboys also beat them. Dallas is locked into the 5th seed because they have the Eagles, who are going to get first in the division, so they're going to get that automatic bid. And then they can't be 2, 3, or 4 because those are all division winners. And then they have a way better record than, or not a way better record, but they have the tiebreaker over the Giants and Washington right now, who are the 2 teams behind them that fill out the rest of the playoffs. So they're kind of locked into the 5th seed, which means they will get the Buccaneers, who are locked into the 4th seed because they're going to be the last divisional winner in. And the Bucks might go like 7-10 or 8-9 at this point. They look terrible. They squeaked out a win versus the Saints somehow, some way, but that was more on the Saints. But Dallas is going to have to travel to Tampa Bay and win there. And can they beat Tom Brady in the playoff game? They should, with the way these 2 teams look right now. But will they? I have no confidence in saying that they will. But say they do win that game. Then because they're the 5th seed, that means they would need Washington or New York to win their playoff game, which would be versus Minnesota and San Francisco, respectively. And I don't see them 2 teams being able to beat those 2 teams right now. So that means the Dallas Cowboys would then have to go to Philly divisional week and play in Philly. And they have a tiebreaker if, Dallas does beat them. Or Philly would have a chance to maybe sweep them. So while this should be, we were saying this, like, there's no excuse. This is the year Dallas has at least make the conference championship. They will face the toughest road to the conference championship in Super Bowl if they make it that far than any of these other years they've had to face, just because the fact they're not going to get first place in their division. And then they're going to have to play Tom Brady round 1. Then they're going to have to play divisional rival round 2. And then I would assume the 49ers, even with Brock Purdy, who actually looked pretty decent, which we'll talk about, don't have to play that defense 3 weeks in a row. And all of those will be road games as well. So it's definitely going to be a tough road to the Super Bowl in Dallas. I know all the Cowboys fans are high right now. Y'all look good. They're all telling me, oh, no, this is the year. We say it every year, but no, this is the year. I would pump my brakes and, don't get y'all's hopes too far up, because y'all know how y'all like to do in the playoffs. And like I just laid out, that playoff picture that I just laid out for y'all, that's basically 95% set in stone as of right now. There's no way to move around it, because the only way y'all could get out of that is if y'all were to drop multiple games to end this year. But I don't see y'all doing that. The only game I think the Cowboys lose on the rest of their schedule is the Eagles, if that. But I think they'll win that game at home. The rest of the schedule, they got the Texans this week, Jaguars next, Titans after the Eagles, which I guess could maybe be a tough one, but the Titans don't look good right now. And then the Commanders to end the year. I think the way the Cowboys are playing, they should be able to win out, if not just lose to Philly. That's about it. So they're definitely locked into that 5th spot, and they will be traveling to Tampa Bay wildcard weekend. And being 5th, that basically assures that they'll be playing every game in the playoffs on the road. So
That's tough.
It's extremely tough. And they've had a great year, and that's the draw they get. Just the way it goes. But yeah, next up, I don't even have to talk about. Yeah, we don't have to talk about the Broncos Ravens. Russ, no words to say. Lamar hurt. The Ravens. This literally, it sucks because this is literally the same exact situation that happened last year. Ravens and Bengals both 8-4. Ravens to the top of the division. Lamar Jackson gets hurt. They lose 5 games in a row to end the year and miss the playoffs. Will that happen this year? I don't think so. They're saying it's not a serious injury. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who are now saying, you know what, Lamar, they haven't paid you your money. You got injured again. Sit out, hold out for the rest of the year. You've shown them enough. If they don't want to pay you and miss the playoffs, let them do it. So who knows what goes? I don't think Lamar's that type of person, but it's a possibility now. Seahawks, they handle business against the Rams, and then this the game we could get to before we talk about my Chiefs. 49ers Dolphins, man. All week, man, Tua's for real. Tua can do this, Tua can do that. And while I'm not about to sit up here and just trash Tua, because he's still a good quarterback, and he's shown he can be the franchise guy there. This game showed that you got to pump the brakes on Tua being a true alpha.
Yeah.
And I was seeing, I mean, I guess you could make the argument maybe he's top 5, but I still wouldn't even put him that high just yet. But there were some people trying to say Tua was top 3.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were smoking on, but they got to send their plugs info. But yeah, played that 49er team, number 1 defense in NFL, been shutting people out for the last 4 second halves in a row, I think. And besides the first play of the game, that was kind of lucky because it was 49ers just had a lapse in coverage. Dolphins did not play good at all. They started the game with a 75-yard touchdown, but it was just a slant route, and 49ers DBs were just I guess there was some miscommunication. They didn't guard Sherfield. He took off, scored a touchdown. But after that, it was all downhill. They were getting after Tua like I suspected because that line wasn't going to be able to hold up against Bosa and them boys. Tua looked shook. So shook to the point he was missing a lot of easy throws he could have made. That a top quarterback, you got to make those in a game like that. And they got waxed. And it wasn't like they got waxed by Jimmy G led 49ers. They got waxed by the Brock Purdy led 49ers. Unfortunately for the 49ers, they lost their second QB of the year. So now they're on to their third string, Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant, which for all of you listeners out there that don't know what that means he was the last pick of the NFL draft this year. Literally pick number 256 of round 7. But hey, he was 4-year starter at Iowa State, broke all their quarterback records. And for what they were saying in training camp, because he was taking second team reps when they thought they were getting rid of Jimmy G, they liked what they seen. And a lot of the locker room is confident they can still, handle business. And with those weapons, Shanahan and that defense, I'm fairly positive they can still handle business. But come playoff time, Brock Purdy in the playoffs, we don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. But he did what he needed to do this weekend. They whooped up on Miami 33-17. Does this change your thoughts about Miami any? And then on the other side of the ball, do you think the 49ers can still make it to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy back there?
With Miami, it kind of changed my mind, but it kind of didn't, because it's like, okay, we see what y'all do when y'all play a real defense, like an actual, top of the top defense. Y'all nut up. Tua, he nuts up. It is what it is. But in AFC, you don't really see you're not gonna really see like that. So I mean, for him, it's gonna be okay trying to navigate his way through through the AFC in the playoffs. I feel like he'll be okay then. But once you play that top of the top defense, I mean, he's going to nut up. We seeing like that. As far as the 49ers, I don't think this changed anything. I really don't think it does, because this defense is playing at a crazy, crazy, crazy level right now. Top 2, top 3 defense in the league right now. They got all types of weapons on the offense, and they're not even really using Christian McCaffrey like that. It's crazy. Like you said, it's not even fair. They're not even really even using CMC like that. But I don't think it really matters who at quarterback back there. Kyle Shanahan gonna do what he do. He gonna use Debo. He gonna use CMC. He gonna use all these other running backs or whatever. And he gonna run that ball, man. He gonna run that ball. He gonna game manage. It's literally just up to Mr. Irrelevant, who's not irrelevant anymore. It's gonna be up to him to just control the game. Just not throw picks. Not fumble the ball, not make mistakes pretty much. And once playoffs come, that's gonna be a hard time. But I think Kyle Shanahan, he'll do the right thing. He's not gonna he's not going to put the game in his hands, and that defense is not going to let any game get out of hand for him to start slinging the ball around. So, I mean, I think their chances are pretty good. I mean, what can Jimmy G do better than a Brock Purdy can do? I mean,
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that because I asked this question for a reason. Because I'm with you. I think the way Brock Purdy looked, he looked very serviceable, and I think they'll be just fine, and they'll be able to they can still really make Super Bowl with that defense and those weapons. But then I found a stat that was kind of like, I don't know. So, in Kyle Shanahan's head coaching career, he is 35-15 with Jimmy Garoppolo as his starting quarterback. Without Jimmy G, he's coached 37 games. You want to know what his record is in those 37 games without Jimmy G?
What's his record?
8-29. And
Wait,
granted,
with the Niners or
with the Niners, that's his only head coaching job. I know it sounds crazy. Granted, it was people like Nick Mullins playing quarterback for him, but still, I'm thinking like, oh, Shanahan will be able to work with Purdy, like them weapons, the defense, they'll be fine. But then I saw this and it was like, there could be some truth to this. But we're literally about to find out right now. I think they should still be good, but the stat is like the numbers don't lie. And it's a crazy stat to even think about. But I saw that because it was like overall as a head coach, he's 43-43, 35-15 with Jimmy G. And I was like, that don't make no sense. It's like, no, 8-29 without him as his starting quarterback. So definitely a lot to prove for 49ers, but I think I'm with you. I think they should be good, but it's just something we'll have to watch. I think they should still run the table regardless, though.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Jimmy G should just sit out and just not come back? And come off seasons like, all right, same thing with Lamar. Here I am. If you want me, keep me. If not, get me out of here.
Well, I mean, they tried to get him out of there, and the problem is nobody wanted to. That's the thing.
I mean,
he had some, I think it was a shoulder surgery or something in the offseason. That was part of the reason why. But I mean, since he came back and was winning, I think he might have a little bit better market. But he don't have the power Lamar Jackson has to be like,
no,
sit out, y'all come get me.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's going out on top.
It really just depends on what the 49ers do. Because now they're saying it's a possibility he could come back at the end of the playoffs, so to speak, if they make it that far. But I mean, if Brock Purdy's playing well and the 49ers win, I don't think you make that move. Yeah, especially because you're gonna come back rusty and you're bouncing back from a broken foot and it's playoff football. So I don't think they do that. But then the 49ers, I mean, unless they are still headstrong on the fact that they think Trey Lance is their guy, they kind of have some quarterback controversy because a lot of people in that locker room love Jimmy G. And if they can win with Brock Purdy and say make a Super Bowl, then it's really like, well, damn. We got Brock Purdy, who is a steal. He's Mr. Irrelevant, so we don't have to pay him. Got Trey Lance, who we traded a lot of draft capital away. But, I mean, we don't have to commit to him. We could, say that was a mistake and try to get rid of him. And then you got Jimmy G, where it's like, I mean, he could be our starter. He could be a backup. But we could also maybe, try to get rid of him again the offseason. So, I don't know where they go, but the team is so loaded, like we said, I don't think they have any problems, which is just going to make it even a more interesting offseason for them because, like, now you're going to be, what is it? This will be Trey Lance's technically, third or fourth year next season, and you still haven't seen him play meaningful football yet because he got hurt so early this year in, like, what was that, the second game? And so you really don't know. You don't know.
So another question. Do you trade Trey Lance and, get one of them top picks and go get a quarterback?
I honestly don't know because I don't even know what team would necessarily want Trey Lance because there's no film on him for real. And only the 49ers know. And even then, they don't know. But they can just gauge what they've seen from the practice field these past couple years on what they think he's worth. Me personally, I mean, I didn't really know too much about Trey Lance when he came out. I knew he played for North Dakota State, and then he came out in that weird COVID year. So they canceled their season, but they played literally one game just to showcase his talent for the draft. Apparently, he did enough for the 49ers to trade all their first round picks to move up and take him over players like Justin Fields and stuff. So obviously they think the world of him. And then this offseason, Shanahan was like, no, it's Trey Lance's team. We're not. Jimmy G is gone. Gets hurt. Jimmy G comes back in. They were headed to, second, third seed in the NFC. Now Jimmy G's hurt. If Brock Purdy wins too, I really don't know what you could say Trey Lance is worth at that point. So it's gonna be a lot of news in San Francisco this offseason. But yeah, I honestly have no answer for you on that one. Who knows? If you want to trade him, who even will be willing to take a flyer like that on Trey Lance?
Maybe my Texans do. I don't know. Maybe
just draft offensive linemen, to protect him. That could be a move. Who knows?
You never know. It's gonna be very interesting, man. Very interesting this offseason.
So you say would you want Trey Lance if you have the option to get Bryce Young?
No. I could just no. I could just see us doing something like that though. Like I could just see us trading our pick and just getting Trey Lance and just using all the other picks on different stuff that we need. I mean, honestly, that'd be the smart thing to do. Just trade for like a guy like Trey Lance or somebody like that, and just get offensive line, get a pass rusher and stuff like that. But other than that, no, I want a franchise quarterback so bad. I want Bryce Young so bad. I hope we get Bryce Young. I hope we do. Time will tell, though.
I would tell. But I mean, hey, y'all gonna be getting 2 top 10 picks, maybe top 5. So y'all gonna have.
It's gonna be nice.
But next up, we gotta segue and talk about it, man. My Chiefs sold the bag. Literally and figuratively. We lost first place in the AFC. Lost me my money. Lost us our max bet. And honestly, the Bengals really are our kryptonite. It's not that our offense can't do what it needs to do to win the game. It's that our defensive scheme is not built to stop the Bengals offense. Spags wants to play press coverage, one-on-one, no help. And while we have McDuffie now who can hold his own, flip side, we have a rookie cornerback as well. And he plays decent, but he's going to get got because he's a rookie and it just is what it is. And when you play Bengals and you have Jamar Chase and you have T. Higgins, and we don't use McDuffie. Really, we've never had a corner just go shadow somebody. It's whatever side they line up, that's who you got. Spags don't play in press up. Our defensive pass rush sucks versus the Bengals. They cannot. We played Joe Burrow 3 times now. I don't think we've sacked him more than twice. And those 2 sacks came the first time we played him in the regular season last year, if that. I know we didn't sack him in the playoff game. We ain't sacked him this past weekend. So I don't know what it is. Like, Spags drew up blitzes. He dropped people back. It doesn't matter. 3rd and 11, game on the line. We let T. Higgins run a slant and catch it. And Dana was there to hit Burrow, and it kind of looked like he just stopped for whatever reason. Doesn't hit him. They ice the game. We don't even get the ball back. But I will say, it wasn't completely defense's fault. Offense sold because Travis Kelce fumbled. If Travis Kelce fumbles, we probably win the game. Not going to lie, because I think Mahomes would have got him down there and scored a touchdown again. But my problem with the offense is we clearly did not learn from our mistakes last year in the playoff game. The Bengals defense, when they play us, they drop 8 back in coverage and just rush 3. And the first problem is somehow Orlando Brown is letting them get pressure on Mahomes when they're rushing 3. Like, come on. That's the first problem for 1. But 2, last year in the playoff game, it showed Jerick McKinnon was running all over that defense. This weekend, the exact same, and Pacheco was doing his thing. And we had I think it was our second touchdown. It's 3rd and 4 from like the 9-yard line. And at that time, they tried 2 pass plays, and they're dropping 8 back into the end zone. You're not going to find anybody open. So what they do, they ran the ball on 3rd and 4, Pacheco runs a touchdown. Fast forward to the end of the game, that last drive when we're driving down to potentially take the lead or tie, it's 3rd and 3. We had just ran for 7 yards. Then on 2nd 3, we choose to throw the ball. I'm not mad at it, but like it didn't work because they dropped 8 back in coverage. So I'm like, just run the ball. Even if we don't get it, it'll potentially set us up for like 4th and 1, 4th and inches. Then we can go from there. No, they drop back again. Mahomes, if he doesn't get sacked, it looked like Juju Smith-Schuster was about to break open and Mahomes was going to hit him because that's where he was looking. And the defense, he was behind the defense. But like I said from problem 1, Orlando Brown Jr. couldn't block, even though it's a 3-man rush, and Mahomes gets tripped up and he loses 2 yards, so it's a sack. 4th and 5. Honestly, at that point, this is my next problem with this. We got to go for that. Even I know Butker's a good kicker, and he missed it, but I'm not upset about that. I'm upset because even if he does make it, we're giving the ball back to the Bengals with 3 minutes left. Our defense is not stopping them. They just shown that from the last drive after Travis Kelce fumbled. And the way the game had been going, the Bengals really killed themselves in not scoring touchdowns. In the first half, they went for it stupidly instead of taking the field goal. We stopped them. And then what should have been an offensive pass interference, because Chase clearly, he literally set a screen. Dude literally went up to the defender and went like this, and the ref just watched it. But Tyler Boyd dropped an easy touchdown. So that's 2 mishaps that the Bengals had where they could have put up more points than they did. But we have to go for that and continue to melt the clock and ice the game away. That way, if we do kick a field goal, it's with very little time so it can go to overtime, or we score a touchdown and win the game outright. And that's another reason I was like, on 3rd and 3, run the ball because the clock will keep running. And then the Bengals will then have to start thinking about, should we use 2 of our timeouts left? Because they had already burned one earlier in the half. But no, we didn't learn our lessons. We didn't stick to running the ball, even though we were averaging like 6 yards a carry and gashing them every time. I just don't get it. Like, I get it. We have Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback in the league right now. But he doesn't always have to win the games. In most cases, yes, he does. But for this particular matchup, the way the Bengals play us, Mahomes does not have to be the superhero on literally if it's anything 2nd or 3rd and 4, I don't care. Run the football every time versus them. Make them respect the run at least to get up out of that defense. But they won't consistently stick with it. But when they use it, like I said, 3rd and 4 from the 9-yard line, they run a touchdown. 3rd and 3 after passing it, I figure if you go shotgun and then hand it off to Pacheco, he probably runs 6 yards and we pick up the first down, and now we can start burning more clock and have a fresh set of downs. But no, they tried to put it in Mahomes' hands, and the offensive line couldn't hold up, and our receivers couldn't get open. And what do you know? The Bengals have now beat us 3 times in a calendar year. I don't know what else to say. And it sucks because now people are going to use it to be like, you know, Burrow is better than Mahomes because he's beat him 3 times. And it's like, I mean, Mahomes really did nothing wrong this game. He had one bad throw where he threw it into triple coverage, and it didn't get intercepted, luckily. But that was literally the one blemish. Other than that, man was literally putting his body on the line. I don't ever want to see him do what he did again. But it was 4th and goal, and he runs and basically slam dunks the ball over the goal line before he gets knocked out and gets completely cyclone in the air. But luckily, it was a touchdown. I was like, oh, my God, Mahomes, relax. Yeah. Like, there's still a lot of season left to be played, and we need you. But he was clearly putting his all on the line because he wanted to win that game. But he didn't want to be 0-3 to Joe Burrow. But here we are, 0-3, and we will more than likely see them again in the playoffs. And will we beat them? I really don't know. We will have to literally play mistake-free football. We can't have any turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. And we will have to create a turnover or get a sack on a 3rd down against Joe Burrow. But if it comes down to Joe Burrow with the ball in his hands and our defense having to get the stop to win the game versus them, we'll probably be 0-4 with them and they'll knock us out again because I can't trust our defense in the clutch versus that offense. It doesn't matter the down distance. Last year in the regular season, it was like a 3rd and like 27, I think. They converted just throwing the ball deep to Jamar Chase. This man Spags basically called engage 8 off of Madden and blitzed everybody and left 3 defenders back there to fend for their lives and chase Moss Ward. This game, 3rd and 11, after the Bengals really could have been iced the game. They stupidly they burn a timeout with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left, and they started to throw the ball on 2nd down because they're like, hey, 2-minute warning will hit, so let's try to get the game here. Burrow just takes a sack because no one's open. Like that, okay, so we technically did get a sack this weekend, but it wasn't anything we did. Burrow just sacked himself so the clock could keep running. But then that sets him up for 3rd and 11. It's like, oh, hey, if y'all can stop him here, we'll either get the ball. It's 1 minute and 50 seconds left when the play runs. We'll either get the ball back with probably like 1:40 if we stop them and they kick a field goal. But if they run it and the clock runs, we'll probably get the ball back with 1:10. These fools throw the ball. If we could just get an incompletion, you're giving Mahomes the ball back, probably down 6, with 1 minute and 40 seconds left to work. And then we have all the confidence in the world. Mahomes could probably go win the game. But no. T. Higgins, like I said, slant up the middle. No telling what our defense was doing. Caught, game iced, over with. Not to mention, before that, it was like 3rd and 4. They throw a quick screen to Jamar Chase, and 3 defenders are there, and nobody makes a tackle before he gets to the marker. Just playing downright awful. And then Justin Reed got the nerve to get back on Twitter and back up the smack talk he's saying, talking about, I mean, say what you want about us losing, but I wasn't wrong. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, yeah.
He got manhandled all game.
All game.
Samaje Perine dribbled this man's head into the dirt on one run. Like, it was awful. And so, yeah, Bengals, as right now, they are kryptonite. If we have to see him in the playoff game, I will not be betting us. I will, hope we win. And that probably be the game we mess around and finally beat them. The game I don't bet. But if we play them again, I'm not losing any money on the Chiefs, and I'm not going to fade us in the playoff. So I will just be staying away from that one for sure. But, yeah, man, that's my little rant on the Chiefs this week, and they pissed me off, sold the bag completely. I was really hurt watching that one. I was like, bro, y'all knew what to do, and they didn't do it. So it's just like, man, I know y'all get paid millions, but I could have coached us too in that game. I don't know. Some things are just not rocket science. Some things don't involve this deep analytics. Like I said, man, if it's 4 yards and under to go, run the football versus them. Even if you don't pick up any yards, they're going to start having to respect the run game. And we have the line to do it. Like I said, we were getting like 6 yards of carry. So they should have just stayed running the football. But hey, they didn't learn. They didn't learn. So now we're 2nd place in the AFC again. Bengals now could potentially creep their way into the 1st, and they're really hot right now. So did this change your thoughts on my Chiefs? Change your thoughts on the Bengals? How you feel after that game?
No, it didn't change my thoughts at all between these two teams. I still think the Chiefs, best team in the league right now. It's just time to start respecting Joe Burrow just a little bit. It seems like, other than Brady, it seems like he's the only guy that can really, go toe to toe. I mean, Josh Allen did it last year, but like actually go toe to toe and actually like beat him, or whatever. He might be Pat Mahomes' kryptonite. I don't know. He might be. But yeah, it's just time to just show Joey B just a little bit more respect, because like I said, he's the only guy that can, that's literally beating Pat. And yeah, not necessarily saying it's Pat's fault, because Andy, sometimes all the little gadget plays he does and stuff like that.
Sometimes it's not it.
Yeah, like sometimes, don't get too cute, man. Just don't get too cute. Sometimes you need to, what's working. The run game is working. Obviously, they can't stop it. You just keep on running with Pacheco, and just keep on running with McKinnon and stuff like that. But like you said, if Travis don't fumble that ball, y'all probably win this game. But it's gonna be very interesting to see. I hope we get this matchup in the playoffs, because I'd rather this matchup over the Bills, because I feel like y'all should be able to beat the Bills. Not like, like pretty easily, but I think I can beat the Bills. But this Bengals team, man, they have everything. This offense is just like your offense, if not some may say better, because they got a good quarterback. Then they got two stud receivers. Then they got Boyd, he's a dog. Then they got a run game that's just crazy. Joe Mixon's crazy. Samaje Perine, he's crazy. And then the defense, like on paper, it doesn't necessarily look, amazing. It doesn't necessarily look cute, but they get the damn job done. Somehow, some way, they know how to play this. They know how to play this offense that the Chiefs have. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see in the playoffs. But yeah.
I guess the one bright spot of losing this game, now it means, at first I was scared because I mentioned earlier, I'm going to the game in Vegas. It's the last game of the season. And the way the season was looking a week ago, it's looking like we might be able to rest players that game, and I don't even know if the Raiders would have something to play for real. But as of right now, we more than likely need to win out if we really want the 1 seed. So it looks like we're gonna have something to play for, and I'll be able to see an actual game in Vegas. So it'll make it that much better. Because I was like, if I travel because the ticket's been bought since August. Yeah. If I travel all the way to Vegas and gotta watch Chad Henne play the Raiders, I was gonna be pissed. I'd still go because, like I said, the ticket's bought, but I would be very upset if I didn't get the full experience. So now it looks like I should be able to get that full experience.
Gotta vlog that.
Yeah, gotta vlog that for sure. Gonna be at the sports book. Then, and the crazy thing is, it's the perfect weekend because that following Monday is the college football championship.
Shit!
And I think Ryan Garcia fights Tank that week too. So
it's
a
lot going on.
It's a lot going on. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'm finna draw up a mean ass parlay and puts a couple hundred on that and try to walk out of there, with a band or two in Vegas. But definitely stay tuned. It's gonna be lit. But yeah, that's about the only positive that came out of me watching that L this weekend. But yeah, that's enough on the Chiefs Bengals. Next up, Raiders Chargers, man. I don't know. Like I said, these two teams, for the Raiders, it was the beginning of the year. They were just being Raiders, finding ways to lose when they shouldn't lose. And now come the end of the year, it's time for the Chargers to start charging, and that's exactly what they're doing. Granted, I know they have injuries galore over there, but at the same time, they do this every year. And like I said last week, they probably really need to take a look at their medical staff, because why is everybody always this injured? But the Chargers find a way to lose. And this was a must-win game for them, because now they're at 6-6, and technically the Raiders, because the Raiders beat them, the Raiders are still alive, and they could take their spot at second place in the AFC West and potentially their spot in the playoffs, even though both of them are out of it right now. But I mean, if they lose, what are you saying about Justin Herbert now? I get it. If it's not Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert is the other media darling where he can do no wrong. But for him, it's like he has done nothing to garner that type of respect. Yes, he's obviously talented, has a great arm. But as far as getting every excuse in the book for him and not being held accountable for so much losing, he doesn't deserve all that. And what do you know? Right back at the end of the year again, and the Chargers are on the brink of missing the playoffs yet again. This will be Herbert's third year, and you're going to have to pay him. I mean, because it's not like he's not the franchise QB. And the way the quarterback market is, the Chargers are going to have to come up off of some money, and then they're going to have to lose some players to do that. So, what do you think the Chargers do? Like, is Herbert, the team, they get Sean Payton maybe this offseason, fire Staley? Like, are you a believer that they can still make the playoffs, or you think they've charged their way out of this already and you don't give them any hope?
Man, I know this sounds like excuses and stuff like that, but it's really not his fault. They really not getting his max potential, man. And it's crazy to see. I said this before. They turning this man into a check down king. Like they turning him to Phillip Rivers, and he's just so much better than that. He can really sling the rock around, and it's crazy to see. The run game is non-existent. They got the worst run game in the league, I believe, like 32nd, like dead ass. Like I think it's the worst run game in the league. But man, he should be throwing this ball around. I feel like it's not him because he's too talented to be, not winning games like this. So I don't think it's him. I think it's more of Staley and the coaching. But I don't know where they go from here. I guess you have to. If I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't see them making the playoffs. I'd be very surprised if they actually make.
Everybody, if you're hearing this, it means you've come to commercial break. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're going to play this audio over that part and then get back to the episode. But while I have your attention, we have a friend by the name of Fine Lines Sportsbook. You can follow them on Twitter at Fine Line Sports. Another online sports book, hey, if you're not joining ABC Islands, you could go here. Nothing but positive reviews I've heard from them. But tomorrow night, they're having a special Thursday night on Prime free play giveaway. They're giving out $25 for a free play to any person who retweets and likes and then tags a friend, which will then boost the winnings potentially to $50 on this Twitter post. I will link it in the YouTube description below. If you go on our Twitter page, you'll be able to find the tweet as well as we retweeted it. But again, it's a Thursday night prime play, $25 free play to one person. All you got to do is retweet and like it. And then if you want to go the extra mile and tag a person, if you win, it'll boost your winnings to $50 if the play hits. Once again, that is at Fine Line Sports, Fine Line Sportsbook, man. Go tag it or go tag in with them if you want, bet online. You want to tell some of our picks here, or if you just want to get into the gambling game, man, definitely go here. Or you can go with our sponsors, ABC Sportsbook. It don't matter to me, man, but go somewhere where you can lock in these picks, man. But with that being said, we right back to the episode, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, I can.
Ooh. Okay. I almost lost connection. I was scared there. I was like, oh man. Okay, we back.
Nah, man, but they, like you said, they just find ways to lose. Chargers are gonna charge you. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but maybe they surprise me and they do make it. But man, I think the only guy who can get the max potential out of him is maybe Sean Payton. It has to be a offensive guru. It can't be Staley. Staley he's not getting his max potential out of Justin Herbert. Yeah, he's throwing for 300, 400 yards and stuff like that. But I mean, it's literally just checkdowns. It's literally just just 5-yard hitch routes to Keenan Allen or slam route to Keenan Allen or just like I said, like a check down to Austin Eckler. But I mean, I don't know. This offense is just very predictable. It's very stale. Yeah, I don't know where to go from here. Probably fire the coach. I would think. Hopefully they go after Sean Payton because I think, like I said, like I keep saying, he should get the max potential out of Justin Herbert. But right now he looking like a social media quarterback. So it's like a social media quarterback. So yeah, that's that, man.
Yeah, man. And on the flip side, I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I kind of like it. And the way you're nodding your head, I can already kind of guess your answer. But I'm gonna say I think it's kind of fool's gold. But I think the Raiders are about to play themselves into keeping Derek Carr next year, and then they'll be Raiders again still, and they will find a way to still not be the team they think they could be. I don't like Derek Carr. I feel like, I'll be, somebody will find this clip and call me crazy if it ever happens. But Derek Carr, I believe, will never lead the Raiders to a Super Bowl and probably never even an AFC championship game. So even if they do win out here or they're able to come close or make it to the playoffs, they still got to split ways at the end of this year. But I feel like if they do make a run and come close, the Raiders are gonna have belief like, oh no, see, we know what we need to do now. McDaniels, it was just his first year. That's why we had a rough start. We're gonna come back next year. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams gonna be the best in the league, and we're gonna win it. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
So this is almost working against them, the fact that they are winning now and they might make a run at it. And Josh Jacobs, I don't think they're gonna be able to pay him like he deserves to be paid. So fool's gold or no, you think the Raiders have a real shot?
Real shot at what?
Real shot. They think Derek Carr can lead them to the promised land.
Oh, what Vince Carter said, man, is over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over, man. Yeah, man. I'm not falling for it. I fell for it at the beginning of the year. I'm not falling for this shit. We know what Devontae Adams could do. We obviously know what he can do, and he's doing what he's doing. These past couple of weeks, he's been balling. Still, top 3, top 5, whatever receiver in the league. But it's just time to part ways with Derek Carr. It's just time to go opposite ways. I mean, they keep winning games, but hopefully, but if they keep losing, I mean, they'll probably have like a little bit of a higher draft pick. Maybe they draft a quarterback or something, or I don't know. But it's just time to part ways. It's literally like just I don't know how the perfect word for it, but like a falling domino. Like the same things just keeps happening over and over and over again, and it's just like, come on, man. It's just what's gonna happen. So I don't. If Raiders fans like actually like thinking like
they are telling you, just go look at Raiders Twitter sometime when you get a chance. There's literally it's two sides, but there's a lot of fans that are diehard Derek Carr. Like, it's never been his fault. It's the defense. We've had terrible defense. Because that's another argument they're making this week. And they're like, why does Herbert get every excuse in the book when all this happens to Derek Carr and y'all call him the worst quarterback in the league? And they have an argument there. I'm not saying he's the worst quarterback in the league, but I'm just saying he's never going to win for the Raiders.
Yeah.
As far as making it far in the playoffs and making it to a Super Bowl. And maybe they do need to go the route like you said. Maybe if they feel like a quarterback drops to them that's pretty good, that maybe they can get and then have him learn under Derek Carr and McDaniels for a year. And then, Derek Carr don't lead them nowhere again next year. They make that move to him. But yeah, they need to get a quarterback or trade Derek Carr, I think, still after this year. So do you think they make the playoffs though? Do you think there's a real chance there? Because I mean, they got the Raiders this week. They can win that one. Patriots at home. Winnable. Belichick versus McDaniels. That's the only if I have there. Steelers in Pittsburgh. Now, that one might be tough because Tomlin going to have them boys ready to play, and they'll still be technically fighting for a playoff spot, I think. But then they end the season 49ers Chiefs. And that's where I think, it's definitely kind of a wrap. But, hey, if they win out these last 5 games, they would finish 10-7 and probably be in the playoffs. But I don't think they can win out. But you said you don't think. Yeah,
nah, it's over. I think one team, the Chiefs, make the playoffs out of that group.
That'll be something, man. If going into that final game in Vegas, if they have a chance to make the playoffs, if they win or something, and we beat them, and I'm there to witness that in front of all them Raiders fans, I'm not gonna wood. But I hope that kind of happens. Man. I'd love to see that.
I know you're going to have your pet jersey on and everything.
Honestly, we're going to see, because I got a Kelsey jersey for my birthday. So I'm going to wear that one at the Texas game. If we win that one, I'm going to wear the Kelsey jersey to Vegas too. Because last year, I went to our game in Tennessee, and I wore the Pat jersey, and we ain't scored a touchdown. Oof. So I might have to retire the Pat jersey if Kelsey wins. Now, if I wear this Kelsey jersey and we lose to your Texans, I'm sorry. If y'all mess around and play y'all's best game ever that week, I'm be mad. I won't wear any jersey to the game in Vegas. But I'm gonna test out my luck with my Kelsey jersey to see. But hey, we'll see. We'll see, man.
See.
But yeah, the last game, and we don't have to necessarily talk about it because we've already kind of talked about it, man. The Saints technically had a chance, even though they've been dead these last couple weeks. They technically were still alive because the NFC South is so bad. And if they would have beat the Bucs, they would have been one game back behind them to win the NFC South. Now, do I have confidence them to be able to keep that up throughout the rest of the season? Not really, because they still have to play the Eagles, but they only have the Falcons, Browns, and the Panthers besides that. So they would have had a fighting chance. And they're up 16-3 with 8 minutes, and then the inevitable happens. They goof up with clock management. Mark Ingram's ran out of bounds randomly one time when he could have got a first and kept the clock moving. And they give the ball back to Brady with chances. And of course, Brady drives down the field, scores a touchdown. Then to ice the game, Andy Dalton throws it across the middle, and it's caught by Taysom Hill, but he gets popped so hard the ball pops out, and it's a drop. Tom Brady gets the ball back, drives right back down the field, throws a touchdown to Godwin, holding call. Now it's like 12 seconds. Oh, maybe there's a chance because now they're backed up. Then Tom Brady gets him right back into the end zone the next play, and it's like, oh, God. It's going to happen. The Buccaneers are going to make a deep playoff run or maybe a Super Bowl run, and this team is god-awful. But you just know the way the NFL scripts it up. Tom Brady is an inevitable, man, and he's done it again, and they sit atop the NFC South at 6-6. So that wraps up the Week 13 recap, man. Let's get into these Week 14 picks. And from talking with my boy Cam, sounds like this is going to be his biggest slate yet of the year.
I'm excited.
Me, myself, I'm going to keep it simple this week. I got 4 picks, but I'll show y'all how I'm going to keep it simple as we go through them, man. But I'm going to let my boy Cam start off since he got 6, man. How you getting this weekend start off? Because we got to bounce back. Worst weekend, like I said earlier, we did not win a pick. We got to get our bookies back this week, man. So what you starting off with?
All right, I'm starting off with the division game. It's a little tough. It'll be a little tough, but this guy hasn't beat them. He hasn't beaten them. I'm going Browns +6, man. I'm going Browns +6. Now, I do think that the Bengals win, but I don't think they win by more than 6. So I'm playing the spread here. So I got Browns +6 in this one, man.
Okay, I like it. I was thinking about that one, but after watching Deshaun last weekend, this might be the way that the Bengals do cover this because I don't think Deshaun's going to be able to put up any points really, but they should be able to run the ball because they're always able to against Cincinnati. But will Stefanski call it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like the pick because, I mean, like you said, Joe Burrow has not beat the Browns. Well, on the flip side, he's beat Mahomes every time. He hasn't beaten Cleveland. So
it's crazy.
The duality of life. So I'm not mad at that one for sure. But I chose to stay away from that one. My first pick, I mean, shoot. I think we gotta bounce back. We got to. And if we don't cover this, that means we let the Broncos score 17 points, which they've only done one other time that season, and we deserve to lose at that point because that's pitiful. But Chiefs -9.5 at Denver this week. I think we get it done. I think we got to bounce back, and I think we at least score 24 points at the very least because Denver's defense is good, and they usually play us pretty tough because it's a divisional game. But I don't think the Broncos get over 10 points.
Yeah.
So we should be able to cover a 9.5 spread. If we don't, I don't know, but I'm just throwing a unit on it. I don't have any max plays this week. I don't know about you. But I don't. So just going to take it easy. Everything finna be simple. Like I said, y'all see as we run through it. But my first pick is us -9.5, man.
That's actually one of my picks too. I think y'all do bounce back. I think this will be a blowout win. I mean, Pat probably pissed off from last game. Andy probably pissed off from last game. So they're gonna call some stuff. So I think y'all win this game pretty easily. Broncos still not looking good.
If we let Russell Wilson cook us, boy.
Oh man, let Russ cook. I can't see it happening though. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Okay, so you got that pick too. What's your third pick?
My third pick, man. I'm going with the Titans. I think it's a bounce back win for them. Playing against a Jags team. This Jags team is horrible. It's as simple as Jags team is horrible. I got Titans -4. I think they cover that pretty easily. It's a divisional game, but I think they should. I think Derrick Henry runs all over them. I think Traylon Burks I think he'll have a good game. He's starting to kind of break out here. So watch out for Traylon Burks.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be playing this week.
He hurt.
He caught a touchdown and got a concussion in the same play.
Oh,
and they kind of knocked him out where he kind of locked up.
Yeah.
So because of the Tua stuff, I don't know if this changes your pick now, but he's more than likely not going to be able to play. Even if he passed concussion protocol, I think they'll hold him out because the way it looked. But he literally caught the touchdown, and luckily for the Titans, when he locked up, his arm still had the ball pinned to his side. So even though he was clinched up, he still caught it technically and got the touchdown. But he was knocked out cold, and he's got a concussion. So does that change it?
No, I don't change. I still think Derrick Henry runs all over them. But dang, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, so that was tough. I think they could cover too. I mean, the crazy thing is though, Jacksonville is still technically alive. So if they want any shot of making the playoffs, they have to win this game. And Tennessee will, of course, then have to drop a couple more, but it would have to start with this game. So I don't know if they'll play any harder, but like they've been one of the most inconsistent teams all year, and they look like complete dog water last week versus the Lions, getting whooped by them. And like I said from the beginning of the season, man, y'all had me for a moment apologizing and going back on what I said, but like I told you, this Jags team was terrible from the jump. I'm still not sold on Trevor Lawrence. Yes, I think he can be a good QB, but as far as living up to the hype of his pre-NFL career, being, the best high school player, the best college player, I don't think he'll be that in the NFL. I just don't think he's cut out to do that at the NFL level. And this year, he hasn't really shown too much progress from what he did last year. I guess he's kind of cut up on the turnovers because he was throwing a lot of picks, and he had that one game-winning drive a couple weeks ago versus the Ravens. I mean, a lot of teams have come back on the Ravens in the fourth quarter this year, so how much credit you want to give there, who knows? But yeah, man, I don't have no faith in the Jaguars. So I'll probably tell you on that one, but I like that pick. Next up for me, it's kind of crazy the way they're favored, but like we talked about, team is loaded. Even though they're playing Mr. Notable, like I said, I think they might lose 9 or 10 games, and they're still going to be first place in the South. I got the 49ers -3 versus the Bucks. The Bucks don't look good, and they shouldn't have won this week.
They shouldn't have.
So there's no way in hell I'm thinking that Tom Brady is about to go dice up this defense that has been killing the league.
Imagine if
all Brock Purdy has to do is play mistake-free football, and I think he can do that. And with the weapons on that offensive ball, the 49ers will be able to get points. And I think they might hold the Bucks to under 10 points this week. Honestly. The way the Bucks have looked, the way that defense is playing, they should be able to hold the Buccaneers to 10 points. And I think the 49ers can at least score 13, if nothing else. So I'm taking the 49ers. It's -3.5. I'm taking it down to -3 by half a point. That way, if they win by a field goal somehow, it's a P. But they should win this game by more than 3 points with relative ease with that defense. So, going with the 49ers -3.
Okay. Okay. I like it. My next pick, man, I'm going with the Ravens. I know LJ gonna be out, but I think Snoop, Tyler Huntley, I think he'll do enough. I got them, +2.5, man, underdog. I think he'll do enough to get that dub. So
you taking them +2.5 or you taking them ML?
Not +2.5.
Okay. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. Tomlin,
Steelers
Steelers are actually looking kind of decent right now. They got TJ Watt back at home.
It's gonna be a tough one. I know. It's gonna be tough, but I think they pull it off.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna keep the faith because I want to see you, win. Want to see the podcast win. But yeah, nah, I won't. I'm gonna tell that one. I don't know about that one. I was thinking about the Ravens, and I'm just like, bro, y'all have been really inconsistent with finishing games, and now Lamar's out too. I mean, Huntley, I give him credit. He got the game-winning, drive to beat the Broncos, but they didn't look good then, and it's not like he has anybody to throw to for real, because all their receivers are hurt over there too. So, yeah, man. Hey,
Be tough.
No risk, no reward. So, hey, I'm not mad at it. I can't follow it. I'm just watch that game from afar and root for your pick. But, next up for me, this is my third final pick, I guess, for the straight bets, and then my last pick is a parlay. But because the Chargers are charging, and I think Miami bounces back this week, and the Chargers I think Miami's going to be able to run the ball really well because the Chargers defense can't stop the run right now, and I think another one of their linemen got hurt this week, and he might be out. Taking Miami -3. I think it's gonna suck because if they win this game, it'll be like, well, now we know for sure Tua is better than Herbert, which isn't the case. They just have the better team. But I think Miami wins this game. And they should, if not win it by more than 3, I think they'll win it by 3, so it would just be avoided bet. But I'm willing to bet the -3. I think, like I said, I think they'll be able to run the ball, and I think Tyreek and them boys will still be able to put up good numbers. And like I said, Justin Herbert, I don't know why they're calling, what they're calling, but they got him throwing all these check downs. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like I said when first started talking about it, I think the Chargers will just find a way to lose because that's what the Chargers do at the end of the year. That's what they've been doing lately. And Miami needs to bounce back to stay in a fighting chance for first place in the AFC East because they're going to get the Bills in a couple weeks. So I think they win this game, bounce back.
I was gonna be with you. But I had 6 picks. I was like, okay, I need to slow it down now. But no, I was thinking about that one for sure. Because I do think Miami bounce back and win that game. I think Reek gonna have a crazy game. That game, he gonna go nuts that game. Probably 200 yards. Actually, he's gonna go crazy that game. But my next pick, man, my 5th pick, man. I got Seattle, man. -3.5. Me personally, I don't know why it's that low. Versus,
I think it might be. I didn't see what the final diagnosis was, but I think Kenneth Walker got hurt last game.
Yeah, K9 did get hurt. He did get hurt. I don't think it'll matter though. I think Geno Smith is still playing at a good enough level to win his game. That defense still playing lights out. And I still think Carolina is just a dumpster fire over there. So.
Oh, yeah. Dumpster fire for sure.
And they got Sam Darnold starting, huh?
Yeah. And honestly, because Seattle's dropped a couple games lately, they're now out of first place in the NFC West, which I didn't think they would be able to hold on to that. But technically now, I guess, they hold the 7th spot. So Washington is the team out as of right now. So they have to win to stay in. But they're going to have to play the 49ers again, which will probably be a L.
L, yeah.
So they can't afford to take too many other losses any other place. And this is a game versus Carolina. You got to win this one. So, yeah, I like that pick a lot. They should be able to win that one. If they lose to Carolina, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because we were all trying to give you props and stuff. But, yeah, no, this is a must-win for them. And I think they handle it. And it's home. Yeah, I think they got it. So, I like that pick a lot. Let's go.
Whatever.
I forgot to tweet it out too. Dang. I picked the Celtics ML today because for whatever reason they're underdogs versus the Suns, and I'm still not sold on the Suns. And it's Chris Paul first game back. But I was like, if I can get it was plus 105. I was like, if I could get the Celtics at plus 105, and I really bet it minus 130 too earlier. I was like, I'm gonna take the Celtics because I've been saying, on the podcast, they're one of the best teams in the NBA, if not the best. But I haven't been betting on them, and I'm missing out on free money. I was like, underdogs, I gotta take it. They're up 69-42 at half, and this game is in Phoenix. Barring a major comeback, that should be cash in the bank. So yeah, man, I'm happy with that. I'll have to tweet that out, man. I gotta get that pick. Like I put that in. I just really forgot to tweet it. But yeah, man. Back to the NFL picks. So I said I was keeping it simple. So what I meant by keeping it simple is I just gave y'all my 3 picks, those teams for the spread, throwing all of them in the ML. So hopefully they cover, and then if they cover, I sweep with the parlay to top that off. So all 3 of those bets, 1 unit, and then 1 unit. I think it's like plus 190 odds for Kansas City, 49ers, Miami, MLP. That's my fourth pick, man. Just paired them all up. I think if nothing else, maybe one of them doesn't cover, but I think they all should win this week. Miami is probably the biggest if, but I think they can handle the Chargers, especially the way they played this week, bouncing back from that. So yeah, man, that's how I'm wrapping it up for week 14. And this is how I get back right after this bad week this week. So
all right, man. This is my sixth and final pick. This one hurts, but it must be done. I got Dallas negative 16 and a half. I got Dallas negative 16 and a half. Yeah. I said it. Davis Mills coming back. He's starting this game. It doesn't matter.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
It doesn't matter at all.
Wait, so the Kyle Allen experiment is done that quick?
It's done that quick. He started this week. It doesn't matter at all. We gonna get our ass whooped. It's gonna be so bad. We're not gonna be able to move the ball at all. I'm pretty sure. Well, Brandon Cooks, he didn't practice today, so I'm pretty sure if he don't practice tomorrow, he'll probably be out too. We won't be able to move the ball at all against this defense. Our defense probably won't. Not probably. It won't be able to stop that offense. Look for Tony Pollard to have a big game, or maybe Zeke, or maybe both of them, because they definitely go run the ball a lot this game. But yeah, I think they beat us probably about 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be very, very bad. This is probably one of the worst teams probably ever in the NFL. Like I mean, this team stinks. The offensive coordinator stinks. Lovie Smith stinks. It's a dumpster fire. I think it's a blowout, like I said. So negative 16 and a half. But sometimes Dallas starts off kind of slow in the first half. So
that's what I was saying. So I mean, as they had probably the greatest quarter ever in NFL history to score 33 in the fourth. And it was really aided by defense, but the offense necessarily did not look that great. At least Dak did not look that great that game. And they started off slow versus the Giants. And I'm pretty sure negative 16.5 is the biggest point spread of the NFL season so far.
Probably.
And that might be one of the biggest point spreads in history. That's a crazy spread for an NFL game.
Crazy spread. It's gonna hit too, but I'm telling you, it's gonna hit too.
I mean, Davis Mills probably get killed, but I mean, if y'all run Dameon Pierce at Parsons, I mean, that's kind of a formula that works against that defense.
That's the formula. So
and all it takes is a lucky score here or there, and that could easily be covered because that's literally got to be a blowout. So, I mean, it's funny because you're fan your team. I don't know. I think y'all might cover that one. I'm not saying like that's anything against the Cowboys, but that's just a steep ass cover. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking like, Cowboys just blew out the Colts 54-19, but some of those people might not have watched the game to see how that even happened because it was 21-19 heading into the fourth quarter, and then they exploded for 33 because Matt Ryan kept turning the ball over. But Dak's final numbers for that game was 20 for 30 for 170 yards. And up until that point, it was one touchdown and one interception, and then they ended up getting another two capitalizing off the turnovers. But it wasn't looking that great. And then they did that and won 54-19. So it's going to be hard to repeat that. Like I said, they literally have to blow y'all out to cover. So I don't know. That's gonna be funny. Like I'm saying, if everybody goes in, Texans suck. Cowboys are good. Super Bowl contenders. I'm gonna bet them 6.5. Vegas going.
Vegas make that call.
Hey, no, that's a pass interference. No, that's a touchdown. No, call that holding on Cowboys. I'm just saying, just take that one call because all the money be on Dallas negative 16.5. But hey, I like it, but I mean, it's gonna be hard to cover because it's so steep. That's literally saying the Vegas books are basically saying, yeah, the Cowboys are gonna whoop the Texans ass.
Literally, bro. We're horrible. Like it's terrible. So
yeah. Like literally, I think when we played the Rams and they had what's his name at quarterback, I think our spread ended up finishing at like 14.5. And we ended up covering at the end. Luckily, but it was only because he threw another interception. Or Brian Perkins, I think is his name. But it's only because he threw an interception and then we kicked a field goal to get the cover right there at the end. But up until that point, we were not covering and we were struggling. It's just like, I know we're struggling because we overlooked this game for one, but two, everybody bet us 14.5. So it's going to be interesting just because. And watch, it's probably going to be like 31-7. And then y'all mess around and score. And then y'all will go for two just to make it a 2-possession game and get it. And then it'll be covered like that. Something crazy stupid.
Bro, I'll be pissed off, bro. I'll be pissed off.
But yeah, man, those are our picks for week 14. This week is a bounce back week. Keep the faith. We're going to turn it back around after week 13. We're due this week. It's still our year. You know what I'm saying? But my picks, I'll run back through them again just, so y'all can hear it one more time. Got the Dolphins -3, 49ers -3, my Chiefs -9.5. Then pair all of those in an MLP parlay for plus 190 odds. 1 unit on all those bets. Dog Cam, you can run through your bets one more time for the audience, man.
So I got Browns +6. I got Titans -4. I got Ravens +2.5. I got Chiefs -9.5. I got the Cowboys -16.5, and I got Seattle -3.5.
So my boy's biggest slate of the year so far, man.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, let's cash out this weekend. Let's keep the faith. Knock on wood. You already know what it is. All these picks locked in. I need it. We need it, man. Gotta bounce back for sure. That wraps up another episode, man. And this gonna be our first episode. I created us an intro, like an official intro that you will now see on every video, man. I'm gonna get an outro together sometime this weekend as well. But the intro kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie. I did my thing. Finally put all my editing skills together, man. This will be the first episode that airs on. And then if y'all don't already, like we've been saying, follow us on the socials to keep up with all of our latest news and pick stuff. But I'll hint at it. I won't say what it is exactly, but just know later this week we got something coming big, and it's gonna be a tournament to win some money. So if you are interested, follow us on Twitter at INISP pod. The P is included in the pod, so INIS pod. But follow us there. The links will be in the description to follow us on all our socials. But you're gonna want to stay tuned because you're gonna have the possibility to win you a nice little prize money. I think if you can, win the jackpot. But like I said, it's a tournament. Details will be coming out later this week. But this is your favorite kids from the neighborhood signing off. Another episode in the books. Week 14. Lock them picks in. You already know what it is. I Need It Sports Podcast. We out, man.
I need it.